Hey everybody, welcome back to Moving Matt. We do vlogs, travel, and some camera stuff. And today I'm going to be giving my review of the Canon RF 85 1.2. And to be more precise, let me get my phone out because this name is quite the mouthful here. So it's the Canon RF 85 1.2L USM, and this is the DS version, so this has the defocus smoothing. So I'll give you some of my initial impressions right now. This is an extremely heavy lens. That's something that you're gonna see off the bat. It's really fat. That's something to take into consideration, especially if you are on like the EOS R like I am, because the camera isn't stabilized and this lens isn't stabilized. So that's something that you need to make sure that you're having a steady hand if you're gonna be using this for any type of video, or really just probably keep it mounted. This lens, quite honestly, is out of my price range at the moment. But I did get this from Lens Rentals, and so you can check them out at lensrentals.com. This is in no way sponsored, but they're an excellent company. So I've been using this for about 2 weeks now. I went on a trip to Florida with it. I'll show you some of the video footage I have of it, as well as some of the photos that I took with it down there. But there was a lot of rain on that trip, so I didn't get to use it as much as I'd like. But when I got home, I was able to do a photo shoot with my niece. So I will take you to the computer and show you some of the results right now. So right off the bat, I shot all of these wide open at the full 1.2. As you can tell here, I was able to catch the eye, even with the original R, and that was a pretty consistent thing. I didn't feel like I was missing the eye very much. Granted, she wasn't moving fast or anything like that. If I was able to catch the eye with the original R, I would assume that the new dual pixel autofocus 2 and the R5 and R6 would have no trouble using this lens wide open and probably catch a lot more shots than I did. Now this next photo, I really just love the bokeh pattern that you have out of this lens. This is the defocus smoothing version of this lens, and you can just tell how beautiful it is. Of course, I did edit these pictures using Luminar and Lightroom, but I didn't personally go and add any bokeh to the background. This is pretty much just how it came out of the camera. These last few shots, I just want to mention how sharp I think this lens is. I've heard the RF lenses and Canon in general taking some flack for not being sharp enough, but I feel like this is about as sharp as I would want any portrait to be. I did do a little sharpening in post, but very little. And genuinely, I'm pretty happy with how these photos turned out, but I guess you can be the judge of that for yourself. Now over to the video side of things, I think it is impressive how this lens is able to track her even though this is at 1.2. Now this was all shot handheld, and the lens doesn't have image stabilization, nor does the EOS R. It does have the digital, and that was on, but you need a steady hand if you're going to be doing this handheld, and that is one of the reasons why this is shot in slow motion. Now this isn't a micro lens, but you can still get pretty close to your subject and keep it in focus, as you can see right here. The other thing I love about this lens is the beautiful way it rolls into focus. To me at least, it looks very cinematic. Well, there you go. You see some of the results that I got out of it. Now overall, thinking about it, will I get this lens? No, probably not. This really isn't the type of lens that I would go for. More than likely, I just wouldn't get my money's worth out of it. I'm not 100% a portrait photographer, and I definitely don't do it on that level, at least not at this point in my life or this point in my career. Maybe in the future, if I definitely think it's a very capable, incredible lens, and I would love to have it. I just don't see me being able to make it economical, make sense for what I need and what I use. I do a lot more landscape photography and video, and so I need to spend more money on the wider angle lenses, and so I will probably wait myself and just pick up the F 2.0, which is going to be about $600 or $700 coming out. That being said, I mean, this is a professional's tool who makes a lot of money as a portrait photographer, and this is going to be like a billion times better, I'm sure, than that F2 that I'm going to get. But for me personally, it's just not necessarily worth the money for what I particularly do. But I hope that this gives you an idea of something that maybe who is this for, or maybe this is for you. But I'm going to do one more test really quick before I end this video. So I'm going to get here and do the wind tunnel test. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do the wind tunnel test, guys. I'm not gonna blatantly just rip off Frono's photo, okay? I'm not that lame. But what we are gonna do is the hammer test. We're gonna see how this holds up underneath the force of a hammer. So let's see really quick No. We're gonna I'm being told by our producer that that's not a good idea.
You don't have a producer.
So, I'm not. You sure? So listen, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've got a little bit more information about this lens if you're thinking about picking it up. I will link this below in the description, as well as the non-DS version of this. As of this time of this filming, it is not an affiliate link, but if anything like that changes, I will always let you guys know in the description. I appreciate you watching. If you've liked it, give a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And until next time, peace.